Okay, so I have been telling myself that I'm going to document and put it all on the World Wide Web because one, I feel like I have a lot to share. I have a billion of notebooks in my notebooks, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? The reason why I'm here because obviously looking through my notebooks, there's always something that I note, and in the right timing, where my headspace is now. Most importantly, is um, 2 months back from holiday trip, annual leave, and then thinking that I was going to find work easily like this, and that was not the case. When you take a step back and then you realize like, oh, maybe, you know, life isn't entirely in my control. But in the moment when you get back, of course, getting back into Melbourne, one of the most busiest cities, of course, you can't help but to feel like, oh my gosh, I want to be financially independent. I don't want to rely on Centrelink or government allowance. So I was very rigid. My mindset was I was going to earn on my own without the help of anyone, my mom or Centrelink or anyone. So in the past 2 months, I think now the past few weeks, I think March was difficult and challenging in terms of like my drive, wasn't as high, I would say, or um, ambitious, if I would say, in like the early days when I set off and I go, yes, okay, so um, I was going to go out, talk to people, obviously connect, network on LinkedIn. That's what you do when you're a freelancer, right? And I did the usual thing I think I did it for what is April, January, February, March, 2 months. And over the past week or two, I've been feeling quite low. So I thought this would be good to document the real reality, especially if you have a life that changes every year or every 36 months. Because I don't know about you, but I always have to think about the next day, the next week, the next month, the next 3 months. And I tend to think of each year as like a different challenge or a different venture altogether. So if I don't have something that marks the new year, I'm in trouble. That obviously that to me means that I'm starting late. Oh dear, not good. So that's the reality right now. I haven't secured anything in my head, and I was also asking, okay, was I up for a full-time gig, proper work, meeting clients? I was all for it. I was like, I'm going to be focused and apply for that niche of mental health jobs, one-on-one client facing. Not directly clinical counseling work, but I was still able to help young people in their recovery journey. I felt like I was able to do that this year. It seems like the timing is off because, well, apparently to me, what I envisioned was this is actually taking a long time. And yeah, it's weird to say this. I've actually kind of given up in terms of like fighting against water. Like when you force things or when you force, it's like for me now, I know how to listen or read those kind of body signs or like a mental state. Um, I don't feel as driven to go as hard as I did 2 months ago when I went interview after interview after interview after interview. So now I'm kind of like retreating to take a step back because I felt it wasn't worth my energy and my brain and my mind to keep thinking about the next thing and the next thing, the next thing and the next thing. So how did I come to this state? Well, obviously, when you feel like you're trying and people say, try harder, wake up at 5 a.m., do things here. So that's one of the main reasons why I share my input and my reality is that I realize that there is a majority um, of people in life that don't have that kind of life that is portrayed on social media. So, for example, that's my life. Like I can't, um, I can't, like, I don't, I actually don't know what will happen in the next 6 to 9 months. Like it could change like this. So, what I wanted to share in particular was something that I noted down that I found when reading through something. It's called the Year of the Sabbath. I think it's here it is. It's the Jewish year of something something. Basically, it's a Jewish tradition that marks a year of the rest. I don't know the particular facts, but what I'm getting out of this is season of renewal. So when life doesn't seem like, okay, each day you wake up, you do this, you have a routine, you do work, you meet the same people, you go home, you sleep, and then repeat, I realize like we're wired to want some kind of like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up, do the same thing. Yep, that's done. Okay, I know what's next. Oh, I know when's the weekend. I know what to look forward to. Like we want that feeling of like, okay, I know. But here, in this particular tradition or practice that these Jewish tradition practice is this concept of renewing ourselves when we are not going through a particular time of busyness or a busy venture, busy job, busy project. And this is like, I think it refers to the Bible scripture. Like I'm not like trying to demean or like trying to make something sound as if it's not like of Bible nature, but the way I interpret it, it's reflective of like our reality of growth, personal spiritual growth. Humans are like trees. We go through cycles, sprouting, maturing, resting, and lying dormant, and then generating new growth again. So the key takeaway out of that is that we grow in different seasons, and the most toughest, one of the toughest stages, other than what do you call it? The trimming, the cutting the tree down, or the branch, or the leaves. The toughest stage I would say is like the dormant stage, or the stage where it's like growing barely, and you just feel like nothing's really happening. I don't know if it's this 21st century society where we're caught up with wanting to move, wanting to grow our income sporadically, like exponentially. We like numbers, we like figures, we like ticking things off. And so I'm reminded in these cases when I go through my notes or my notebooks that it's a reminder that some things are just around the corner. Some things could take 2, 3 months, 6 months. We don't know exactly why. But in that moment, when you're going through slow periods of transition, change, or just simply it's something that, it's the end of something. You just gotta wait it out and not force. If you force, for me, I realize I waste a lot of mental energy thinking and worrying and signing up and doing things that ultimately it's not like, it might not even be good. It's just like for the purpose of you trying to feel like you've done something for the day. So that's a reminder. It's called the season of renewal. And in my case, in my reality, it changes quite frequently, up, down. I meet a particular person, I meet a particular manager, I do a specific project, and then, 3 months off, 6 months done, another month in between. So like, what do you do in those periods of time? So that's what I'm working on. So in the midst of, all of this, obviously, applying for work, you still got to do like the general things, just at least, keep the ball rolling. But, on the outside, I'm trying to maintain some, sanity and mental kind of like reassurance that it'll be fine. And in the meantime, you can do things that you've always wanted to do that you weren't able to do while working 9 to 5, such as going to the pools at 10 a.m. or cleaning your room finally, or cleaning out your inbox. So those kind of stuff I know that I want to do. Honestly, I want to document and just like put things up really quickly, because it really paints the picture of what my mind, what my rigid mind works, or how I'm learning to unbreak my old kind of like traumas and perfectionistic egos type things. So I think it's good just to talk in front of the camera, quickly edit it, post it. That's it.